Hello, welcome to the second 1.1 video. We're going to look at the next two objectives. The first one being displaying categorical data with a bar graph and deciding whether it would be appropriate to make a pie chart. So we know the difference between categorical and quantitative variables. This chapter obviously this section focuses on displaying and analyzing categorical data. So you know two methods now of how to display categorical data: a bar graph and a pie chart. Let's look at this example together. Portable MP3 players such as iPods are popular, but not equally popular with people of all ages. Here are the percents of people percents of people in various age groups who own a portable MP3 player, according to a survey with 1,112 randomly selected people. They ask us to make a well-labeled bar graph to display the data. I think we all probably know how to make a bar graph, but I want to highlight the important features of a bar graph when you are drawing one. The first thing is that you need to identify what is being displayed. The frequency, or the percent, will be on the left. And then the variable will be on the bottom. In this case, it's the age group, and you're displaying the percent of people who are 12 to 17 that have an MP3 player. So then you're just going to draw a bar up to the 54%. And then for the second category, 18 to 24, you draw your bar up to 30%. I think you guys all know this. Now, one thing I do want to make sure I say is that even though these are numbers, 12 to 17, it's a categorical variable because they fall into a category. If they're 15 years old, they still fall into the category of being between 12 and 17. That's why this is a categorical variable. Next thing I want to answer is, would it be appropriate to make a pie chart for these data? Why or why not? Actually, before we answer that, we do need to make sure we say that we describe what we see. So in this case, it's obvious that the older the person gets, they're less likely to own an MP3 player. Now let's answer this next question. Is it appropriate to make a pie chart? Why or why not? In this case, it is not going to be appropriate because the first check is add up the percentages, and you can see that it's going to be well over 100%. It only makes sense to do a pie chart if the percentages add up to 100%. They are each a percentage of the whole. So in this case, 54% is not the percent of all the people randomly surveyed. The 54% is of the people 12 to 17, 54% own an MP3 player. So in this case, the percentages are not the percentage of the whole group. It is just the percentage of the category who own it. So it does not make sense to make a pie chart. And I'll show you how I wrote that out. Making a pie chart would not be appropriate because each percent in the table refers to a different age group, not to parts of a single whole. The second objective is to identify what makes some graphs of categorical data deceptive. This one will be short and sweet. The first graph is good. The middle graph here, since they're showing area instead of just the height of a bar, it's misleading. This Macintosh, the big computer, makes it seem like it is way, way, way more than Windows, when in reality, if you're making the comparison with just a bar, it's not as bad as what the area appears. The second graph is misleading because it starts at 10 versus starting at 0. So it's missing a lot of the data from each group. So if we were to make this graph the appropriate way, which would be here to the left, you can see that the gap is not as big as the misleading graph appears. So basically, make sure you are using the same width of your bars and make sure you're always starting your scale at 0.